Brought to you by the State Farm agent of the game, John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. By Taiwan Tourism, it's time for Taiwan. Search taiwan.net.tw. And by Tri-State Buick, experience the new Buick for yourself at your nearest Buick dealer. Be at Citi Field Friday, August 18th for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a Michael Conforto t-shirt courtesy of Taiwan Tourism Bureau. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Washington Nationals dodged an enormous bullet. Bryce Harper went down with a knee injury last night. Turns out no ligament damage. He has a bruise on the inside of his left knee. It is a significant bruise. He'll go on the disabled list, but the expectation is that Harper will be able to return this season. The Nats with a 14.5 game lead in the National League East. Plenty of time for Harper to heal. Mets and Phillies meeting for the final game of this 4-game series. First pitch is coming right up. That's a beautiful shot, isn't it?
It certainly is.
RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for X1, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced, pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Mets have won 8 of 12 from the Phillies so far this year. Outscored them 62-50. Out-homered them 25-7. In fact, the Mets have won 16 of their last 19 series against the Phillies, and going for another one today, having taken 2 out of 3 in this series so far. Rosario handing out the high fives. He's getting a day off today, his first day off in the big leagues. Both Rosario and Cespedes getting the afternoon off.
Interesting, with Cespedes hitting 2 home runs in this series. This will ride the pine today.
In fact, Cespedes for his career is averaging a home run every 7.7 at bats in this ballpark, home run every 20.6 at bats everywhere else, and yet he sits today. Geico starting lineup for the Mets this afternoon. So with Cespedes out, Conforto moves up to the 3-hole. Wilmer Flores will bat cleanup against a right-hander. That's unusual. Dominic Smith will get the 5 spot, and Brandon Nimmo starts for the 2nd straight day. Jose Reyes gets a start at shortstop, with Rosario getting his first day off. It is a sparkling afternoon in Philadelphia. Temperature right around 85 degrees. A little breeze blowing in from center field. That's different here, so maybe they'll cut down a bit of the power as Zach Eflin takes the mound for the Phillies.
Big tall kid, 6'6", 211 pounds. Part of that Jimmy Rollins deal with the Dodgers back in 2014, as we said in the Open. 23 years of age. He started out hot, had no decisions in his first 5 starts, and really tough luck. Pitched well, and then all of a sudden 3 starts after that, he gave up 7, 8, and 7 runs and got sent down. Coming off a win since his recall against the Braves. And the Coors Light defense. Kim gets a start in left field. Rhys Hoskins, who's struggling, that's his real position over there, his most favorable position, first base. I'm sure they're hoping that'll relax him. Still looking for his first hit, and another youngster that the Phillies are very high on, Jorge Alfaro, behind the plate.
Well, Hoskins' family has been here all weekend. We have chronicled some of their reactions to his at-bats. They're still looking to celebrate his first hit, his 4th big league game today. So both first basemen in the game today will be neophytes, Hoskins and Smith. Curtis Granderson getting set to lead things off.
Mets and Phillies were fortunate last night that they didn't have a rain delay for some reason. That big band of rain last night just kind of split Philadelphia in 2, and they're able to get started on time and play to the end.
Any reason we're playing Freebird?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, sometimes the football team in town they refer to as the Birds,
maybe
the Eagles.
Maybe they're playing it for the Mets. They can fly out of town. They've had enough of them playing here.
Phillies won last night behind Aaron Nola, who was tremendous for 7 innings. He's pitched as well as anybody in the league the last couple of months. Mets trying for better results against Zach Eflin this afternoon. Granderson leads off. First pitch of the day is in for a strike, and we're underway. Curtis 2 for 10 in this series, including a home run. Mets faced Eflin in his first start of the season back in April. And Granderson drills one toward the right field corner, and that ball stays in their territory, bounces up against the wall, and Granderson has 2 bases to start the day. Leadoff double for Granderson, his 22nd 2-base hit of the year.
Curtis not wasting any time here. Right down the right field line.
So the Mets attack quickly. Eflin's second pitch, Granderson a double, and now Asdrubal Cabrera hitting second in the order. Cabrera 3 for 6 in this series. Playing second base today, with Wilmer Flores playing third. The Mets have a shuffleable infield right now. Other than Smith at first and Rosario at short, the other 3 guys can basically play anywhere, and have. 0-1 to Cabrera.
Well, Cabrera has shown that he can play second base and he can play third base. He's done admirably well.
So good at both those spots, and that certainly enhances his versatility and in turn his trade value. It's taken outside 1-1. We saw that with Walker. I mean, the fact that Walker played a couple of games at third base enhanced his tradability, and in fact, in his debut with the Brewers today, Neal is playing third base, giving Travis Shaw a day off. Cabrera at .262 for the year, and he fouls it away. 1-2.
Big high change right there. It was a pitch to rip.
Michael Conforto hitting third in the order today. Eflin came up last year, made 11 starts, went 3-5, 5.5 ERA. This is his 10th start this year. As we mentioned, his first start this season was against the Mets. He walked 3 in the first inning, but then pitched pretty well after that. A no decision for him. Flied out to shallow left field. In toward the line comes Kim, but out goes Galvis, and it's Galvis who makes the catch for the first out of the day.
Galvis is a pretty polished shortstop, I must say. He is energetic out there, gets to everything. It's a sun field, that's for sure today.
Well, there is every chance that Freddie Galvis, if he keeps playing the way he has, could walk away with his first Gold Glove this season. He's played that well at shortstop. Here's Michael Conforto. Michael's 2 for 10 in this series. Both the hits were home runs. 25 home runs for the year, 62 runs driven in. Granderson at second and 1 out. And a first pitch curveball that kind of crossed up Jorge Alfaro, who points to himself, says, "My bad." But it was in for a strike.
Fourth time of the season, fourth time of the year that Conforto's hit in the third hole, and they're going to go make sure they're on the same page. Runner on second base. Let's make sure we got the right combination of signals here.
We got a young catcher behind the plate now, Alfaro, starting just his third game of the season. You got Eflin, a young pitcher, on the mound. And he misses with the curveball, and it's 1-1. Conforto hitting .323 with runners in scoring position this year. That's helped into his 62 runs driven in. And he gets jammed, fouls one away. 95 from Eflin.
Watch the pitcher here and the third baseman now. It's the shortstop's ball. It's a call. I'll look at the pitcher cover. That base left exposed. That's the pitcher's responsibility. Can't leave all you kids can't leave that advanced base for Granderson just to low right in the third.
Golfed in the air to deep right field, back near the wall. It's out of here. Michael Conforto with his third home run of the series, a 2-run shot to get the Mets off to a fast start. Number 26 for Conforto, and it's 2-0 New York. 3 hits in the series, 3 home runs in the series, 6 RBIs in the series for Conforto.
Just incredible. Just a lazy breaking ball out of the strike zone. He went down and golfed it. Easy breaking ball to track, and he rips it. Look at the balance. It's an off-speed pitch. Look at the balance. Straight up and down. What even got down and bent down to golf that ball. Beautiful hit. Beautiful.
So Conforto just keeps on going. Moved up to the 3 spot today. Gets an opportunity behind in the count. And lofts one over that easy pickings in right field for a 2-run shot. Get him warmed up for Yankee Stadium tomorrow. Taken low, ball and a strike.
Don't get into pull happiness though over there.
Well, he's gone line to line in this series. He had one to left center, and now that one to right.
I think for 2 days going in there for 2 games is not going to throw you off.
Flores flies one out to center, and Herrera is there. Wind blowing it back in, and that's the second out.
Here's an overhead, and watch the contact out in front of the plate. Look where the pitch is. So the ball is almost around an inch off the inside corner. And as the ball comes closer to you inside, you hit it more out in front. As the ball's on the outside corner, you hit it more behind you. And he just went, that was an adjustment on his part. An off-speed curveball, showed terrific balance. Boy, the sky's the limit.
Now Dominic Smith, his third big league game. He's 1 for 6 in his first 2. And he takes a fastball strike from Eflin. Smith just 22 years old, first round pick in 2013 out of high school in LA. Facing Zach Eflin, who was a first-round pick by San Diego in 2012, coming out of high school in Florida. Traded from San Diego to LA and then on to the Phillies. In the air to center. Over comes Herrera. A bad route, but a good finish for Herrera. And he dives to snag it to end the inning. So Conforto gets the Mets off to a good start. Herrera, without great route efficiency, nonetheless able to make the grab. 2-0 Mets. Hernandez, Galvis, Herrera, Hoskins, Williams, Franco. They've played every game in this series. Hyun-Soo Kim gets a start in left field today, acquired from Baltimore. Jorge Alfaro, his second start in the 4-game series. As Chris Flexen makes his 4th career major league start.
Well, there's his numbers, his Land Rover numbers, and they're not impressive. Too many hits, too many walks. But, you know, nerves. Just got his first win under his belt. Let's see if he can pick on this last place squad here.
Cesar Hernandez leads off, 3 for 11 in the series and takes ball 1. Well, Flexen's first 2 starts were on the road. He pitched in California with lots of family and friends there. So there was that. Then he pitched at Coors Field, and there was that.
Yes.
And he finally came home and had that good outing against a pretty good offensive team in Texas. And a call strike to Hernandez, and now he gets to face a division rival for the first time. So, as is generally the case with a young player, it's a series of firsts for the 23-year-old from California. Hernandez sitting at .293, .364 on base percentage, having another terrific year. And a late swing foul, 1-2. He's really established himself as a good top-of-the-order piece for the Phillies.
Are they one of the Phillies, one of the few teams that have 1:30 starts on day games? Usually most teams have 1 o'clock starts.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, the Braves, of course.
Well, they started most of their night games at 7:30 too, the Braves.
Well, they got all that traffic. Although I must say that new ballpark is a little easier to get to than the old one, old Turner Field.
Freddie Galvis on deck. And Hernandez floats one into shallow left. That'll fall for a base hit. That's a little flare off the bat of Hernandez to give the Phillies a leadoff base runner.
Little inside out on a breaking ball. Ties him up inside. And just couldn't put it in a better spot.
So now the Phillies get the leadoff man on, and now Freddie Galvis, who's 3 for 11 in this series. Hernandez at first, 12 stolen bases this year in 15 tries. And Flexen sails that first fastball up and away for ball 1. Last night the Phillies were able to take the lead in the 5th inning. It was the 2 guys at the top of the batting order, Hernandez and Galvis, each of whom had a 2-out hit against Steven Matz that put the Phillies in front to stay. Phillies only had 5 hits last night, and they were all singles. And, you know, we've talked a lot this year about the comparison between what the Mets expected to get from their pitching staff and what they've gotten from their injury depleted staff. And this is one measure. Last night, the Phillies had 5 singles, no extra base hits. It was only the 3rd time this year that the Mets did not allow an extra base hit. 3rd time. Last year, 17 times they didn't allow an extra base hit. 2-1 to Galvis.
Well, you've lost a lot of people in that starting rotation, and this is a far cry of what was put on the chalkboard beginning of spring training.
Well, starting pitching, bullpen too. I mean, you went most of the year without your best relief pitcher. You've gone most of the year without your best starting pitcher. It's a bad combination. But it's given opportunity to people like Chris Flexen, who've gotten to the big leagues a little faster than he expected. And now he falls behind Galvis 3-1. Remember, Flexen was promoted from Double-A, and he only had 7 starts at Binghamton before he was brought up. He was going great guns there, 6-1, 1.66. But I don't think anybody expected Chris Flexen to throw innings for the Mets in 2017. But here he is making his 4th start. And with injuries, there becomes opportunity for others. Grounded foul outside first, 3-2. Odubel Herrera waiting on deck. You got Hernandez with good speed at first. Galvis at the plate, 3-2 and nobody out. See whether Pete McCannon sends his runner here.
I believe he will.
He's going, and Galvis with an emergency hack fouls it off.
One guy dove for the ball and just smothered that woman down there in a dive for the ball. Very apologetic.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. Over exuberant.
It's just a baseball. I mean, it's a nice souvenir, but you know, if you really want a baseball, you can go to the store and buy one.
That's right. But it's nothing like getting one in the ballpark.
But you don't want to injure another human being in the process.
Agreed.
It seems a little excessive.
Runner will be in motion.
Hernandez runs. Galvis again fouls it off, and they'll do it one more time.
Your Lexus Met defense. Nemo with another start, this time in left field. He started last night in right. Dominic Smith, another start, of course. Reyes at shortstop. Rosario with a day's rest, as well as Cespedes.
And that's outside for ball 4. That was a weird indication on the part of the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings.
I've never saw an umpire point to first base.
I'm not sure what he was pointing to. He's trying to explain it to Travis d'Arnaud, who didn't seem to understand it either.
You may go to first. Oh, what was he pointed to? In the middle of the toss he pointed. What did he call?
Did he call
a balk? No. Because then the runner wouldn't go to first.
Well, he would, because you can take the result over the balk.
He pointed to the pitcher.
Well, he looked like he was pointing to first base.
No, but I mean, prior to the pitch, we could show it again. Watch, Gary. Before the ball's delivered, he points to the pitcher. Let's take another look.
If we can figure this out, this is where baseball will be well served to have microphones on their umpires.
Okay, just keep your eye on the home plate umpire. Watch his right hand.
I didn't point at him.
I don't understand the point.
It must have been. I mean, it didn't look like a balk.
Didn't look like it to me.
And he didn't go to his mouth, so that's not what it was. It becomes a moot point because the walk supersedes the balk anyway, so it was ball 4.
But would the point distract the pitcher?
Well, yeah, it might, but play does continue. If an umpire calls a balk and the pitcher throws the pitch, it's not timeout.
It was bizarre.
It was a little strange. So now here's Herrera with 2 aboard after the walk to Galvis. Herrera riding a 15-game hitting streak, and he takes the sinker low and away for ball 1. Herrera got a base hit his last time up last night against Eric Goodell in the 8th inning on an 0-2 pitch. So he kept that hitting streak alive, 15 straight games. The last time a Philly had a longer one, it was Raul Ibanez 7 years ago. And a fastball strike from Flexen, 1-1. So Flexen with a blue pit and a walk in immediate difficulty here after being staked to a 2-0 lead.
Tough guy to double up too, and Herrera runs well. Herrera a bit of a loose cannon, up at the plate, in the field, on the bases. But he's a cut and slasher, and he's a dangerous hitter.
Well, Herrera has been a bit of a puzzlement at times. Pete Mackanin had to bench him earlier this season for lack of hustle, but he seemed to respond to that because over the last 2 months he has just been tearing the cover off the ball.
And we've seen him this entire series running out ground balls.
Now Flexen ahead of him 1-2. The rookie Rhys Hoskins is on deck. Hernandez is second, Galvis at first. Both run well. And Herrera flares one to the left, and that's a base hit. Hernandez will pull in at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Herrera now has a 16-game hitting streak. Again, he gets a base hit behind in the count.
Another inside out, similar to Hernandez's base hit, but this one's more of a soft liner. Up and in, inside out. Ball bled out over the plate a little bit too much. It's not a great read by the runner. I mean, there's no one going to catch that ball, but you're not going to score.
With as little room as there is in left field, very hard to score from second on a base hit in this ballpark.
So you might as well play safety first.
So here's Hoskins, still looking for that elusive first big league hit. Bases loaded, nobody out. And he takes the first pitch slider off the plate for ball 1. Hoskins playing his 4th big league game, started the first 3 in left field, which is a position he had never played as a professional until this week. 3 games in the minor leagues, now 3 games in the majors. Now back at his more familiar first base today as Tommy Joseph gets the day off. And Hoskins pops one foul.
He's been throwing him a steady diet of breaking balls and then fastballs up and in out of the strike zone. He's pressing. He stands deep in the box. And Flexen pitches from the far extreme. You can see how deep Hoskins is in the box, and Flexen is on the extreme first base side. Look at just as practically his toes on the rubber. Interesting.
Fastball misses low, 2-1. Nick Williams hitting 5th in the order. He's on deck. Flexen just needing an out right now. 2 hits sandwiching a walk to load the bases with nobody out. Infield back at double play depth as Hoskins waits on a 2-1.
Coming back in. And there's that. He's swinging at it. It's ball 4. Sorry, excuse me. It would have been ball 3. A little anxious in that ball.
It just seems, Keith, as though he's deciding to swing before the pitch is thrown.
Well, I know where he's at. He wants to hit a fastball. All young hitters want to hit a fastball. And you just get over anxious. You're used to being in AAA and getting a fastball 3-1, 2-1, and over the plate too. Throw a little bender here at him, a little wrinkle.
2-2 coming to Hoskins. Slowly hit. Reyes with the flip. Cabrera with the turn. In time for the double play as a run comes home. 6-4-3 double play. Hernandez in to score, and it's 2-1 New York. And that is as good a result as Flexen could have hoped for. Now the Phillies will decide whether they want to challenge this close play at first.
I thought it was a boom boom play and they had him.
Jeff Nelson making the call at first.
Oh,
they may want to take a look at this one.
Little fielder's choice.
And Pete Buchanan says we're going to challenge.
Wonderful. We haven't had a challenge that much in this series. Have we had one?
And it certainly appears as though that's a call that should be overturned. And that will get Rhys Hoskins his first RBI, if not his first hit. Play under review brought to you by Mazda Driving Matters. Fans here in Philadelphia seeing the replay on the board, which clearly appears to indicate that Hoskins beat the play by a significant margin. Boy, there's the freeze. So Rhys Hoskins' dad at least appreciative of the fact that Rhys is going to pick up an RBI here once it gets overturned. Should be easy for Bill Miller and Jim Reynolds, the 2 crew chiefs in the bunker in Chelsea, and a relatively quick decision to overturn the call. So it goes to the fielder's choice, 6-4 for the first out. Hernandez scores. RBI for Hoskins, his first in the majors. But he's now 0 for 11. I don't think he saved that ball, do you?
No. Well, you could save your first RBI ball, certainly. Yeah, your first RBI. Why not? I wish I had. Actually, I did.
Baseball.
My first hit was an RBI single, I believe, against Mike Caldwell in Candlestick Park.
One ball
right.
For 2 events.
Correct.
Hoskins, at some point, one would suspect, will get a hit, and then he'll have 2 balls for 2 events.
Absolutely.
So first and third and 1 out. A run in, 2-1 New York. Here's Nick Williams, who's had a terrific series. 4 for 9. He was on base 4 times last night. And Flexen misses away for ball 1. Nick Williams has 39 hits in his first 35 games. He's the first Philly rookie to get that many hits in his first 35 games since Jimmy Rollins when he first came up with the Phils. So Williams off to a nice fast start, hitting an even 300.
Another low ball hitter. Open stance. See a lot more open stance in today's game.
Curveball lifted to center, not very deep. Galvis will not even bother tagging up as Conforto comes in to get it, and that's the second out. So a big out for Flexen, pinning Galvis at third. Now they're 2 away.
Well, Galvis did the right thing at third base. He was a quarter of the way down the line. Why would he do that? Because he has no chance if the ball's caught to tag up and score. But if he's tagging up and the ball's dropped, he may not be able to score. If he's a quarter of the way down the line, the ball's dropped, he can score. And that's baseball 101.
Could be 102. 101 is the prerequisite.
What does that mean? You got sent back a grade?
It means it's the next level after you get the basics down. Here's Maikel Franco, 3 for 12 in this series, first and third and 2 out. And Flexen starts him off with a slider for a strike.
Well, a bases loaded, nobody out jam here, and he's 1 out from getting out of it with just 1 run. That'd be outstanding.
Well, he was an overturned call away from being out of it now. And Franco fouls it away, and quickly it's 0-2. It's been a disappointing year for Maikel Franco, and for the 3rd straight day we've seen him down in the batting order, 6th or 7th. Galvis at third, Hoskins at first with 2 out. And Franco takes a slider off the plate, 1-2. 27 pitches already for Flexen. Hyun-Soo Kim would be next. Hoskins doesn't have much speed, but you never know in these spots. We saw the Mets try and run a delayed double steal with 2 outs yesterday.
Well, Franco has been struggling, having a tough year.
Galvis wandering down the line from third, trying to get Flexen's attention. And Franco lifts one out to right, and Granderson's right there waiting. And that retires the side. So Flexen able to work out of the jam. Bases loaded, nobody out, just 1 run scores. After 1, Mets 2, Phillies 1. Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yoenis Cespedes bobblehead, courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Well, that was an eventful first inning. Had a Michael Conforto 2-run homer. We had a strange signal by an umpire that we think was a balk that got superseded by a walk. We had an overturned play at first base. We had a nice escape by Chris Flexen. And now at 10 minutes past 2, we can start the second inning.
And
you have a train to catch, don't you?
Well, I'm going to have to text my daughter and tell her keep the light on.
There are no fouls, one away. The good thing is that when you miss a train from Philadelphia to New York, there's usually another
There's
train.
another one right after it. Absolutely. I'll just have to wait another hour, that's all.
It's not like the last train to Clarksville.
anything but being on that New Jersey Turnpike going back to New York on a Sunday.
You got another back roads, Keith. Slider off the plate to Darno, 1-2. Travis 0 for 9 in this series, 0 for his last 13, going up against his original organization. And the curveball hit out to right center. Angling in is Herrera. He won't get there, and it drops for a hit. Gets behind him, but Darno has to stop as Williams backs the play up. And so Travis has his first hit of the series, and the Mets have the leadoff man on in the second.
Well, Herrera playing slightly deep. That's just a nice bloop.
So Darno aboard with nobody out, and Zach Eflin will have to go back to the stretch to face Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo started last night, played right field, and went 0 for 3. Just his 5th start of the season, and getting to start back-to-back games. And he takes a strike. Nimmo starting in left field today, with Cespedes getting the day off, his first day off in a while. Gary Collins said he wanted Cespedes fresh for the series with the Yankees that starts tomorrow night. 2 games in the Bronx, 2 games at Citi Field. Mets don't know who they're going to be facing tomorrow. The Yankees have had all sorts of issues with their pitching staff, even though they refortified that staff by acquiring Sonny Gray and Jaime Garcia. They've seen Sabathia and Tanaka go on the DL the last 2 days.
Looks like a nice pitching matchup on Tuesday night.
That should be a good one. DeGrom and Gray, your city probables. Rafael Montero for the Mets. Might be Luis Sessa for the Yankees, guy the Mets traded to the Tigers in the NYN Cespedes deal 2 summers ago. It was Sessa and Michael Fulmer who went to Detroit. Sessa's been in the minor leagues with the Yankees, but he might be brought up to make that start tomorrow in Tanaka's spot. Nimmo, 29 big league at bats so far this year, hitting a .276 with a .417 on base percentage. He's generally not inclined to go out of the strike zone. Pretty disciplined young hitter. Jose Reyes sitting 8th in the order. He's on deck. And Nimmo goes down swinging on the curveball, and Eflin has his first strikeout of the day.
Good 12-6 drop there. It's not a sharp breaker. It's an off-speed pitch. Nimmo was out in front. It's one of those curveballs you can track.
We saw Aaron Nola, the Phillies starter last night, who had a very sharp curveball and got great mileage out of it.
So you see Eflin's not an overpowering pitcher for a big guy. 6'6", 211, big, tall, lanky kid. Just a little sinker, curve, changeup.
Reyes 1 for 8 in this series, playing shortstop today with Rosario getting the day off. And he checks his swing, and it misses. 2-0. Well, it's a day ending in a Y, so Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run. His 9th in his last 10 games. His 21st in his last 33 games. Coming into the day, he had 20 and 32. It was the first time since 2002 Sean Green that a player had 20 home runs in a 32 game span. And I believe that's his 42nd, right, which matches Gary Sheffield's franchise record for the Marlins.
He is such a streaky hitter, but this is a particularly long streak.
And he's healthy, which is the most important part. Out goes Hernandez. In comes Williams to call, and Williams makes the grab to retire Reyes. 2 out. Marlins are tied up with the Rockies 3-3 in the 3rd after that Stanton home run. So here's Flexen, who had his first big league hit in his last start. He had a double in that game against Texas, so he's 1 for 4 in his big league career. Fastball strike. Flexen fouls it away. 95 from Eflin. That's where he's topped out. 0-2. Flexen's a big, strong kid with pretty good swing. It'd be shocking if he went deep one of these days.
Well, Met pitchers have a clue.
We've already seen what, DeGrom and Lugo homer this year. Did I miss one?
It's been a long year ago.
No, those are the only 2 this year. This last year, Syndergaard put on a show, and the curveball gets Flexen looking. Second strikeout for Eflin. Well, I know stranded after a leadoff hit. Still 2-1 New York. Praise the cheesesteak all the time when we come to Philly. We forget sometimes about the Philadelphia pretzel, which is also a big part of the gastronomic culture here. Oh, the Philly pretzel is a little different from your New York pretzel, and the locals like to eat their pretzels with mustard.
That's very Deutsch.
Well, it's a tradition.
I think you should have pretzels with mustard.
I like pretzels with mustard.
I do too.
I've got nothing against that. You know, the average American eats 2 pounds of pretzels per year, which seems like a reasonable amount. The average Philadelphian eats 12 pounds of pretzels a year, which seems a little excessive.
How much does a pretzel weigh? Can we quantify? What does that mean?
We're going to have to get a ruling from the judges.
I mean, 12 pounds, does that mean 12 pretzels? I don't think a
pretzel doesn't weigh a pound. That would be a rather hefty pretzel. Sun-Hyu Kim swings through the fastball, and it's 1-1. I think you could probably get 3 or 4 pretzels to a pound.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
So 12 pounds of pretzels
48.
you're talking about.
Let's round it up.
That's a lot of pretzels
50
in the course of a year.
50. there's those that make that's just the average. There's those that probably have.
Oh, sure. There's probably somebody who has a pretzel a day, probably consumes 50 pounds of pretzels a year.
Exactly. I am one.
And then you have your pretzel abstainers.
I'm lucky if I have 2 or 3 a year, and that's only at the ballpark.
Kim strikes out for the first out. Well, I don't count, but I would say 2 or 3 a year are probably underrepresenting your pretzel consumption.
I disagree. That's only when I'm starving.
Maybe I'm mistaking your pretzels for your Swedish fish.
No, well, there's other things I consume. The pretzel for me is the last resort when I'm really hungry. That's an extra in the game or something.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, pretzels can be very tasty, but they are really the very definition of empty calories. Here's Jorge Alfaro with 1 out. And that's why the mustard is very important, because, that's the greatest nutritional element of the pretzel is the mustard.
Yes. Let's move on.
We already did, Kate. Alfaro, making his second start of the series, is 1 for 5 so far, and he fouls it back.
Nice breeze blowing from left to right. Flags look beautiful, don't they? Philadelphia skyline in the back, all the banners to the left, all the championship seasons in Philadelphia history. Very nice, this ballpark.
I like the way they color code their banners here. They've got the white banners for the teams that won division titles.
Right.
The blue banners for teams that won National League championships, and the one red banner. There's the one, and then the 2008 banner on the other side for the teams that won the World Series.
World Series, right. 1980, of course, is to the right. The Pete Rose era there. Mike Schmidt, Greg Luzinski, they were all here today.
Off the backhand of Cabrera, and doesn't have time to recover, and Alfaro is aboard. So Asdrubal unable to make the clean backhand pick. And they're going to give Alfaro credit for a base hit.
No. Wow, that's generous.
It certainly is.
That's an error. I'm sorry. And this is no slight to Cabrera. I think if you asked Asdrubal, he'd say I should have had it. It's an error. Yes, I should have had it.
So now the pitcher Eflin. That's a look for the bunt. He has 3 hits and 1 sacrifice this year. And butts it straight back to Flexen. Has a play at second. In time there. The throw to first goes awry, but hits off the dugout fence, and Eflin will hold it first. So a good aggressive play by Flexen, and they get the force on Alfaro for the second out.
Well, Flexen doesn't hesitate. He fields the ball and immediately throws it. One split second of hesitation, and the runner could be safe. It's a close play.
And the Phillies will not challenge the call. So it's a 1-6 fielder's choice for the second out. Eflin now running at first. Good call.
Yep.
Second base umpire Roberto Ortiz with the emphatic call at second.
He likes the emphatic call.
He's very emphatic with his out calls. I like that.
I think umpires should be.
So now Cesar Hernandez with 2 on the runner at first. Hernandez blooped a single to left and scored the Phillies' run in the first. And he tops one down to Smith. It's a foul ball that hit off Hernandez. Or as Keith instructed me last night, Hernandez. Well, that sounds Castilian.
Yes. TH instead of
He's Venezuelan. He's not from Spain.
They all derive, the old Spain went over there. Got it all going on a long time ago.
Well, Venezuelan Spanish, I'm sure, is different from
Oh,
Castilian Spanish.
no question.
Just as Canadian French is different from Parisian French.
Yes. Good point.
And we don't speak the King's English either.
No, we don't. We don't say advertisement.
Schedule. Here's the 0-2 coming, and it's fouled away. Sometimes we do an advertisement for our schedule.
We do that a lot.
Yes, we do. Flexen 40 pitches deep into this game, trying to put the second inning to bed. And Hernandez takes it low. 1-2. Chris Flexen from Newark, California.
I don't know where that is. It's in the Bay Area, on the East Bay, next to, well, just been told it's near Fremont. For you folks that don't know where Fremont is, it's over the San Mateo Bay Bridge.
I hear there's been some good baseball talent come out of the Bay Area.
More than a few. Actually, Fremont's near Hayward, so that's where old Buddy Harrelson came from.
Did you just call Buddy old?
Well, I meant it, you know.
Affectionately,
yes,
I know.
Affectionately.
Here's a 2-2. Struck him out with a changeup. Good pitch by Flexen to get Hernandez and end the inning. Second strikeout for Chris. We're through 2 in Philadelphia with the Mets up 2-1. Seamstress in American history.
Sweet.
Betsy Ross.
Look at that nice little house.
That's not the flag that she sewed, but it's a facsimile.
Is that her?
There's the facsimile Betsy hard at work doing her stitching on the flag. Got all the stripes aligned properly, all those stars in perfect symmetry. 13 stars on that original flag.
In a circle.
50 now. No more circles.
Same amount of stripes, though.
13.
Representative of the 13 colonies. Yes, very good.
7 red ones and 6 white ones. 2-0 to Granderson, who doubled and scored his first time up. Mets got both their runs in the first and a 2-run homer by Michael Conforto. And Zach Eflin misses away, and it's 3-0. When the Mets faced Eflin back in April, you know, Eflin's a control pitcher. He walked 3 batters in the first inning. Might have been nerves. And then he went on a streak where he didn't walk a batter for 29 innings. And as Keith mentioned, got off to a very hot start this year, but it did not last. He wound up back in the minor leagues in late May, and then shortly thereafter, as Granderson lifts one to left, and it's playable for Kim. And that's the first out. Shortly after Eflin went back to the minor leagues, he wound up on the disabled list with elbow issues and missed about a month. Then he really struggled after coming back from the minor league DL. Didn't win a game down there, but the Phillies had a need. They brought him back. And this is now his second start since returning. And the first one was a good one. Pitched 7 strong innings in Atlanta, gave up only 2 runs and got the win. And earned himself another go-round.
Well, you got a second division ball club, and in this case a last place club. You're going to give your youngsters a look. 23 years old. I mean, you got rid of Jimmy Rollins for this kid, so they're going to. All GMs want and organizations want to make their trades look good. So he's going to get a good look.
Well, it's much like the Mets trading away veterans to make spots for younger players, as they've been doing frequently lately. And in the Phillies case, they traded Jeremy Hellickson, sent him to Baltimore. That opened up the spot for Eflin. There's the standings in the National League East. Washington with the huge lead, which makes them more easily able to withstand the loss of Bryce Harper for however long a period of time that's going to be. Hernandez fields Cabrera's ground ball and throws him out 2-away. But it is certainly good news for baseball that Harper was not hurt more severely than the bone bruise that he suffered.
Well, I know all you folks that saw it, you saw the hyperextension where his legs stiffened out. But if you notice, when he slipped off that bag, he could have broke that ankle so easily. He is so fortunate that nothing serious happened to him. And baseball's very lucky too.
Well, what was scary was that we saw a very similar injury in the same ballpark earlier this year when Adam Eaton tore up his knee, and he came off the bag in a similar fashion. It's pounded on the ground down to first. Hoskins makes the play, and Conforto retired, and so are the Mets. 6 in a row retired by Zach Eflin. That's still with a 2-1 lead. SNY's NFL insider Ralph Vacchiano breaks down their preseason opener against the Titans on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Today's Verizon trivia question: who was the last Phillies first baseman to win a Gold Glove?
Ex-Cardinal.
Could
go that far back? Did he win one when he was a Philly?
Yankee broadcaster, you mean that guy? Freddie Galvis leads off. Might have been one since then.
Might have been.
Galvis walked his first time up. I'm fairly certain Ryan Howard never won a Gold Glove during his tenure, nor did Jim Thome, who preceded him as Phillies first baseman. Flexen.
I think the guy we're thinking of, didn't he win 6 Gold Gloves in a row? I believe so. Back in the 60s.
I'd have to bet there's somebody since then that we're not thinking of.
Terrific guy, too. What a class act.
National League president.
Wonderful man. Used to watch his footwork at first base at Candlestick when I was a little kid.
One-two from Flexen, and Galvis fouls it away. Who were the other guys you watched as a kid? Your dad told you to try to emulate at first base?
Well, there wasn't a lot of TV back then. Wes Parker, certainly. I was in high school then.
Wes Parker with the Dodgers.
Correct. And he won his Gold Gloves too, his share. We didn't have any American League, Gary, until the A's came. You know?
Did you ever get to watch Vic Power?
American League. And
he had a great reputation.
Yes,
back about that
and
time.
I remember. Now we had no good called third strike.
Third strikeout for Flexen as he gets Galvis looking. 1 out.
We'll take a look at the pitch here. Out to hit the corner. I'm sure it does. Too close. Yes, it does. Dad felt that Dad was very conservative. 2 hands and nothing flashy. And we do know that Vic Power was a little flashy at first base. I never saw him play first base on TV. Because Cleveland never was on TV.
I mean, flashy like Willie Montanez flashy?
I don't know. I have nothing to. I never saw Vic play because they always showed either the Yankees on Game of the Week or the Dodgers when they had Koufax. And I was a kid growing up when it's the Koufax-Drysdale era. But Bill White, I do recall, and Wes Parker.
Odubel Herrera had a base hit to left field his first time up. Is now hit in 16 straight games. Takes the changeup off the plate. 2-0. Just a big green ball of fluff.
And he's a favorite. A fixture. And just remember, it all started with the Super Chicken in San Diego, if you recall, who was absolutely phenomenal.
And speaking of Willie Montanez, the Chicken did a great Willie imitation. With all his flash. Herrera's on with a walk. The second walk given up by Flexen.
Willie Montanez was a piece of work. What a character he was. He had 30 home runs for the Phillies early in his career. I remember that year I played for maybe a little over a month in Puerto Rico, 1975, when Caguas had Montanez at first, Felix Millan at short, Jose Morales behind the plate, Jerry Morales in left field, Sixto Lezcano in center, and Jose Cruz in right. It was a big league team.
It's a lot of big league talent.
Had Eduardo Figueroa was one of their starters, Craig Swan, and another big league pitcher I can't think off the top of my head. It was the big powerhouse team in that Puerto Rican league that year.
There's Rhys Hoskins still looking for that first hit. Drove in his first big league run on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Now 0 for 11 to begin his career. Well, what set Montañez apart was that he could play, but he played with inimitable flash.
Yes,
between the snatch catches and the
home run
trot with the emphatic leap on each base.
Oh, he took the big wide turn too. Only one took a wider turn was Jerry Morales of the Cubs.
And the little walk into home plate at the end, which the chicken nailed. That was a great part of his act. Curveball from Flexen for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Hoskins.
How many years did Willie Montañez play the Mets?
Maybe 2, maybe 3. There's your Spectrum high-speed pitch. Let's see. Willie came to the Mets in 78. Yeah, 78, 79.
So
those 2 years.
Those lean years.
Oh yeah. The dark ages.
Oh boy, they were dark ages.
Post Seaver trade. Here's the 0-2. In the air to right field. Granderson started in, now back. And puts it away to retire Hoskins. 2 out.
0 for 12. He is really scuffling Hoskins.
So 2 out. Herrera still at first. Here's Nick Williams, who flied out to center his first time up. Well, there's big news from St. Petersburg. The Tampa Bay Rays have scored a run. May not sound like a big deal, but Tampa Bay, which is still very much in contention for a postseason berth, only a game out of the AL wild card, they have been shut out 5 times in the last 8 days, all at home. The last time that has happened to a major league team was the 1955 Baltimore Orioles. So over 60 years ago since the team has been shut out 5 times in 8 games at home. And the Angels beat the Mariners last night to take over that second wild card. The 5th different team this week that has occupied that second wild card spot. Think about that. 5 different teams in 1 week have been in that same spot for that last postseason berth in the American League, and it could change another 5 times in the next week, as tight as those teams are all bunched. Flexen behind 2-0 to Williams. And now 3-0. So he's walked Herrera on 4 pitches earlier in the inning. Got Hoskins out, and now he's 3-0 on Williams. Michael Franco on deck. There's a strike, 3-1.
It's a very subdued truck of late.
I think our folks in the truck have been observing the local noise ordinances, trying to keep down the RPMs. (3-1) coming, and that's outside. Second walk of the inning, 3rd of the day for Flexen. So he's not making it easy on himself. Flexen's now walked 11 batters in 14 big league innings. That is not exactly a recipe for success. Now we'll face Michael Franco with 2 men on. Franco flied out to right his first time up. at second, Williams at first. Rocco came up with 2 out and 2 on in the first inning. And he's up with 2 out and 2 on again. By the way, the Mets made a player move today to fill the roster spot vacated by the trade of Neil Walker to Milwaukee. The Mets promoted a relief pitcher, Kevin McGowan. Now, McGowan is not here yet. He's expected to arrive at some point during the game. And the expectation was, as Franco lifts one to left, expectation was that he wouldn't get here in time to get in the game today. But as slowly as this game is moving, he might be in before this game's over. 2-1 Mets after 3. That's with a 2-1 lead. Wilmer Flores leads off against Zach Eflin, who's retired 6 straight. As always in Philadelphia, plenty of orange and blue. Flores pops one up. And the first baseman Hoskins, looking through the sunglasses, reels it in for the first out. I've been impressed this weekend, considering the fact you've got 2 teams out of the race, how good the crowds have been.
They've been nice crowds.
Phillies have had their alumni weekend. That's helped bring some people into the building.
They had close, I would say, what do you say, 30 players from the past? They had players going back as far as in the early 60s. They had Art Mahaffey here. For those of you older fans, you probably remember him. He won 18 games in I believe 63, and hurt his arm, had big herky-jerky motion. Was a nice weekend of remembrance.
Yeah, they brought a lot of people in. Dom Smith takes a strike. 1-1 to Dom, who flied out his first time up, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
You know, guys, something that's hard to quantify but is definitely important is the impact that communication between teammates has on said players' performances, especially when the teammates are so similar. And that was the case with Dom Smith and Michael Conforto. Remember, the two were drafted only a year apart, played together for a little bit in the minor leagues, and both, again, are very similar type players in terms of their approach at the plate. Natural lefties that have some natural power, but to all fields. They're at their best when they're spraying the baseball around. And both Dom Smith and Conforto said that while they were coming up, they were each important on keeping the other on the straight and narrow, not trying to get away from what makes them successful. They'd be vigilant about watching the other, and if they saw that the other player was pulling off the baseball a little bit, trying to hit home runs, they would say something to the other guy.
Down flies one out to Herrera, and that's the second out.
And what was interesting is listening to the fact that now Michael Conforto, he has more experience at the major league level, obviously, and what got him into trouble last year was trying to pull the baseball. So he said he wants to give Dom Smith a few days to acclimate here, but plans on in the near future approaching him, addressing him about the pitfalls of what happened to Conforto a season ago, making sure that Dom Smith doesn't fall into the same trap.
Well, that's very helpful.
So far in his 3 games, it's a tiny sample size. Just about every at bat, Dom Smith has hit the ball to the middle of the field.
Yes. And he's still getting acclimated, so there's no judgments coming down.
Garneau yanks one foul. Travis had a base hit to right center his first time up, his first hit in this series. Snapped an 0 for 13 stretch. Since that base hit, Eflin's retired 8 in a row, and he gets a swinging strike, and it's 1-2. Zach Eflin, after a couple of months in the minor leagues, came back last Tuesday in Atlanta. 7 solid innings there, allowed just 2 runs. And so far so good today. Gave up the 2-run homer to Conforto in the first, but nothing more. And 2-2 to Darno. And Travis goes down swinging on the fastball. 3rd strikeout for Eflin, who's now set down 9 Mets in a row. We go to the bottom of the 4th. No beef for Reno. Last Phillies first baseman to win a Gold Glove.
I was right.
It was indeed Bill White.
Bill White got traded to the Phillies because he was on the '64 World Champion Cardinal teams that beat the Yankees in 7. I think he played. I think that was his first year in Philadelphia, '66.
correct. His 66 season was his first as a Philly.
And he did go to Philadelphia, and a little bit later Curt Flood was traded, and that started the whole beginning of the end of the reserve clause in Major League Baseball.
Well, Curt Flood challenged it, lost, but
that started the ball rolling.
He was the guy who really put his neck on the line for all the other players.
And then, of course, McNally, Dave McNally and Andy Messersmith challenged it later.
They played out their options.
Correct.
And then declared themselves free agents, and that was upheld by the arbitrator, and that instituted free agency. Kim hits one deep to left. Nimmo back at the wall, and he makes the catch. Hyun-Soo Kim making a bid to the opposite field, and Nimmo with just enough ballpark to make the play for the first out.
Well, Nimmo does one thing real well here. Look at him skedaddle back there as fast as he can to the wall. Check it out. Well done.
By the way, when Bill White was traded from the Cardinals to the Phillies after the '65 season, one of the players who went the other way in the deal is a guy you referenced earlier, Art Mahaffey.
Oh, really?
It was Bill White, Bob Uecker, and Dick Grote going to the Phillies for Art Mahaffey, Alex Johnson, great hitter, and Pat Corrales. Here's Jorge Alfaro.
Alex Johnson just passed away recently, was a batting champion for the California Angels. Later on, won a batting crown. No one remembers that.
Oh, what a great hitter he was.
He wasn't much of an outfielder. They said that when no one else could play left field after he left town, he butchered it up so badly. But he could hit. And Rusty speaks Rusty Staub, of course. Played with him in Detroit, I believe, together. And Rusty had nothing but high praise for Alex Johnson.
Alfaro had an infield hit off the backhand of Cabrera in the second inning. Flexen has been behind 2-0 more times than he'd like to count today, behind again to the number 8 hitter. Flexen has walked 3, struck out 3, allowed a run on 3 hits. Trying to get the Mets a rare Sunday win. And Alfaro has his second hit of the day, this time a clean single. And the Phillies have their 4th hit against Flexen.
Fastball down and on the outer half. So many hitters today are low ball hitters. Hardly any stride.
So now Eflin will try and sacrifice, one would presume. He tried the first time up and bunted into a force play. This time he pulls the bat back and fouls away the Butcher Boy, 0-1. You got Flores playing third base. Still convinced that Eflin will bunt. So Cabrera shortened up at second as well. And he's swinging all the way and fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Eflin's lifetime batting average coming into the day was .225, which is awfully good for a pitcher. So Pete Mackanin has him swinging on the first 2. Cesar Hernandez waiting on deck. And Eflin down swinging on the fastball for the second out. 4th strikeout for Flexen.
Well, that just shows you right there that Flexen is not a good bunter, and Pete Mackanin, you know, lets him swing the bat. I mean, that's just something, if you're a pitcher, you can help your own cause and your team's cause. Team comes first. Something you need to do is go put some extra work, try to become a good bunter.
So now Hernandez who had a base hit and scored the Phillies run in the first inning, struck out in the second. Alfaro at first and 2 out. And the curveball for a strike from Flexen. Phillies have had plenty of base runners early in this game. 4 hits, 3 walks, but they've gone 0 for their last 9 or 0 for their last 8 with runners on base. Only hit with a runner on base was Herrera's single in the first. And that one finds the top of the strike zone, much to the dissatisfaction of Hernandez.
The high strike, Doug Eddings, home plate umpire, has been calling that high strike, and I'm all for calling the letters.
Doug has always been known as a pitcher's umpire, maybe not quite as much of one as he was when he first came up. And Flexen strikes out Hernandez on 3 pitches. Back-to-back strikeouts for Flexen. He's got a career high 5 strikeouts and a 2-1 lead after 4. Of great interactive science exhibits for the kids. I remember being taken there as a very young kid, just having a ball at the Franklin Institute. And look, Ben's even there himself. Say hi. Several Bens. That's a little confusing.
He liked it when he was over there as a representative to the colonies and using Gay Perry over there. He he liked that kind of lifestyle over there. Can't blame him.
Well, there's Brandon Nimmo leading off in the 5th, then he went around on that half swing, and it's 0-2. You know, everything in moderation, Keith. Discovering electricity, helping to build a country, having fun in France.
He was a genius. He was a governor of Pennsylvania, too. So that makes him a politician.
For Richard's Almanac. I mean, he did a lot of stuff. Strike 3 called. So Nimmo struck out for the 2nd time. 4th strikeout for Eflin. I mean, don't get on the 100 for nothing.
Excuse me?
I said you don't get your picture on the 100 for nothing.
You remember when that was an obscure bill? When I do.
That's before it was all about the Benjamins.
Which one is Grant on? He's on a big one.
He's on the 50.
That's trying to think what the other $1,000 bill. Isn't it Grover Cleveland?
I don't think I've ever seen $1,000 bill. Are they in circulation?
There are, but I know Grover Cleveland's on a very large bill.
Salmon P. Chase?
Might be.
Yeah. 0-2 to Reyes, who flied out to right his first time. You want to know who's on those bigger denominations? Ask a ball player. Reyes playing shortstop today with Rosario getting the day off. And he slashes one back into the screen just over the head of Chris Flexen, who's standing on deck. And Reyes pops up the curve, coming back Alfaro for a look, but that'll be back in the crowd.
Yep, I'm correct. Grover Cleveland is on the $1,000 bill.
Okay. You want to show me?
No, trust me. I'll do the 10,000.
No, I mean show me the $1,000 bill. That's popped up off the third base side, and that'll go out of play. You don't happen to have any lying around. You just you looked it up.
$10,000 bill.
There is a $10,000 bill. So this is news to most people. Who's ever seen a $10,000 bill?
Salmon P. Chase.
Okay, there you go. That's lined the other way by Reyes, and that's a fair ball going down the left field line. Played off the sidewall by Kim, and Reyes cruises into second base with a one-out double. So the Mets have their fourth hit after Eflin had retired 10 in a row.
High, looking at Jose, chopped on that one nicely. Stayed on top of that high fastball, away, up and away.
So a runner in scoring position with one out, and here's Flexen, who took a call third strike his first time up. Each team now with 4 hits. All the runs in this game came in the first inning. And now Flexen looking to add to his lead, looking for his first big league RBI. And he takes a fastball strike from Eflin. Reyes thought about running and pulled up as Flexen swings over the curveball, and it's 0-2. And Flexen down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Eflin, 2 out in the inning. So Reyes still at second with 2 away, and here's Granderson, who opened the game with a double down the right field line and scored in front of Conforto's home run, the only 2 runs for the Mets this afternoon.
Conforto's 26th home run of the season.
What's that, 12 since the All-Star break?
Yes.
That would be even more impressive if it weren't for what Stanton is doing.
Well, Stanton's right now is just on he's on a career high.
He's on an
tear.
Outrageous stretch. I mean, we marveled at what Aaron Judge did during the first half of the season. I mean, Stanton is on an even more prolific stretch than that. Get to see Judge in person for the first time tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to that, even though he's been struggling.
Comes into tonight's game with the Red Sox, hitting .161 since the All-Star break. Granderson hits one in the air to deep right center. Back in the gap, looking up, Herrera near the wall. It's out of here. Curtis Granderson with a 2-run homer. His second in this series, his 17th of the year. Mets' second 2-run homer of the day, and it's 4-1 New York.
Another ball down in the strike zone. I'm just kind of waiting for the Mets to kind of explode off Eflin here. Right down the wheelhouse. Looked like a breaking ball.
That's 10th home run in this 4-game series. Pair of 2-run homers today. And now here's Cabrera. Whacks one out to left, and Kim is right there, and that retires the side. But the Mets expand their lead. Curtis Granderson's 17th home run of the year. Halfway through in Philadelphia, 4-1 New York. Some of the top high school ballers as SNY in overtime team up to bring you the best New York City hoops highlights all summer long. Check it out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's Twitter.
Tweetster.
Goes Flexen now with a 3-run lead. As Freddie Galvis leads off the bottom of the 5th. Well, Mets outfielders have hit 82 home runs. Of course, 29 of those hit by a guy who's no longer here. So it kind of loses a little bit of its steam as that one is shot past Flores into left field, and Galvis is aboard. Looked like a ball that Flores had a chance for, but he just missed it.
Yes, he did.
Now Odubel Herrera, who's been aboard twice with a single and a walk. I guess they scored that a base hit. Herrera now 5 for 13 in this series. Bats with Galvis at first and nobody out. And Flexen throws a fastball by him, 0-1. It is odd, you know, when you look at team totals now for a team that's traded away 4 key pieces in the last 2 weeks. I mean, the Mets lead the National League in home runs, which is great, but 2 of their biggest home run hitters aren't on the team anymore. So it doesn't have the same validity that it might have a couple of weeks ago.
It's not like you get a brownie points if you lead the league in home runs.
That's true too.
You know, the only thing you get is when you win a National League crown.
Although I will say this, in an era right now where the home run is more prolific than it has been maybe at any time in Major League history, it's quite an accomplishment to lead the league in home runs. The problem is, well, the Mets have hit 174 home runs, which is a lot. They've also given up 162, which is the second most allowed in the National League. And you know, the Mets play in a park which is not right. It's not a great home run hitter's ballpark. It's better than it was before they moved the fences in. But could you imagine if the same pitchers and the same hitters played here for 81 games?
It would be Mets would have over 200 home runs.
Yes. They might have given up that many as well.
You're right, exactly.
Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2. So you're right, they don't hand out prizes for leading the league in home runs.
Right.
But if you were to start a season and you had a team, if you could lead the league in one particular category statistically, which would be the one you would choose to lead the league in?
Earned run average.
I totally agree. Great mind.
Thank you.
Well, that was the plan this year for the Mets. They were supposed to dominate the world with their pitching, but it just didn't work out that way. And in fact, it's gone so far in the other direction. Second to last in the league in ERA, second most hits allowed, second most home runs allowed, and the fourth most walks allowed, which is even more shocking.
To me, pitching is what you build around. It hasn't changed. I see a lot of teams that beat up on the mediocre pitching, and then you get to the elite teams in the playoffs and they fall by the wayside. You can have all this era of hitting. There's a lot of hitters that beat up on mediocre pitching, and then the good pitching, okay, fine, good pitching is it's going to get a lot of people out. It separates the men from the boys, so I would rather have pitching and defense.
Well, I think that's generally true, but I think it's even more true in an era where offense is ascending.
Yep.
Because there is so little good pitching, high level pitching, which the Mets thought they had a volume of going into this year. 3-2 to Herrera with Galvis at first, nobody out. And he's running, and the pitch outside, ball 4, and Herrera's on again. That's the 4th walk given up by Flexen. And so after being given a 3-run lead, the first 2 have reached against Chris in the 5th, and that'll get Rhys Hoskins to the plate as the tying run.
0 for 12 coming up to the dish, and this is kind of painful to watch. It seems like every time he comes up, Gary, there's men on base, which just turns the screw a little tighter.
It's going to happen at some point. Let's just hope it's after they leave town. Hoskins, who was having a marvelous year in AAA before his call-up. 29 home runs, 91 driven in, 284 batting average, 385 on base percentage. He did have an RBI his first time up on a bases loaded grounder. First and second and nobody out. And Hoskins takes a fastball for a strike.
That might have been the only pitch that he was gonna get to hit. They've been throwing him a lot of breaking balls. I think he was looking for a breaker there. This is when you are confused and everything you guess wrong.
Galvis at second, Herrera at first with nobody out. One from Flexen, and Hoskins takes a knee-high strike. 3 fastballs in a row, and now it's 1-2.
Steady diet of breaking balls the first 2 times up for the youngster, and now 3 straight gas attacks, and he hasn't swung the bat. That was a borderline strike, by the way. But now he finds himself in a hole here.
Flexen's already struck out 5, the most he's had in a start to date. And the breaking ball just missed. 2-2.
Boy, oh boy, did he want that one. Where was it?
Two coming, and he reaches and fouls it away. Well, we're going to bring you in on the conversation. Tweet of the game brought to you by Toyota. Hashtag SNY tweet if you could build the team and lead the league in one stat, obviously excluding wins. That would be the obvious one. What would it be? Give us your thoughts.
Come on, all you Connie Macks and John McGraws out there.
And readers of Fangraphs. That's lined the other way, off the glove of Smith and into right field, and Hoskins finally has his first major league hit. That took him to his 13th at bat, and he goes the other way, just tall enough, and now he's finally able to exhale. These fans have been living it with him through all of those fruitless at bats, and his dad and his sister and his girlfriend, who have been through every agonizing bit of it, finally able to celebrate.
High fastball. Wanted to go away. Just out of the reach of Smith. Oh, he got a glove on it. That'll do it.
They've been waiting for that for a long 4 days. So the base hit for Hoskins loads up the bases with nobody out. Second time in this game, Flexen has faced a bases loaded, nobody out jam. He escaped in the first inning with only 1 run scoring. Now he's got another one to deal with as the Mets bullpen gets cranking. Hansel Robles, who today is celebrating his 27th birthday. Happy birthday, Hansel. Gets up. Galvis at third, Herrera at second, Hoskins at first. Nick Williams the batter. He's flied out and walked 0 for 1. And takes the sinker out of the strike zone for ball 1. Have had oodles of base runners, 6 hits and 4 walks in the first 4 innings plus, but thus far just the 1 run. And Williams chases one. 1-1.
Double play would be right in order here. Sacrifice a run.
One to Williams. And he chases another one. Fastball's out away, and it's 1-2.
He has that lift swing. Watch him come under this. That's chasing that. He keeps chasing that ball, running out of the strike zone. Run another one at him. See if he goes and chases further.
Flexen has already struck out 5. Williams able to reach that one and foul it back.
Williams really squats down, crouches in his stance. Check out his back leg as he gets set. Really very widespread stance.
1-2 coming. Now the curveball hit in the air to center. Not all that deep. Galvis tags. Conforto under it. Galvis is not going to come home.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
What is going
Talk about
on?
safety first, and now you've got the runner Herrera breaking to third, and you got 2 guys standing on third base. Flores tags Herrera out. I don't know what Herrera thought he saw as that ball bounced into home plate. Maybe he thought Galvis was going to break for home, but he didn't. Herrera lit out for third, and he ends up being tagged out, and it's a double play.
How can you not send Galvis? And Galvis looked to one send well, the third base coach.
But what's Herrera looking at? Did he forget Galvis was at third? Oh, and he realized halfway there his mistake.
He's not paying attention.
He just forgot there was a guy at third.
What is he doing?
He saw the ball bounce away from Darno briefly, and he thought he'd take an extra base, but that base was occupied.
Come on.
Just dreadful. Dreadful. It goes to double play, 8-2-5, and gives Flexen an enormous break. First, that Galvis didn't try to score because he could have walked home. And then Herrera with just an unfathomable mistake. And there are 2 out.
Galvis looked to his third base coach on the tag up on the fly ball when it was in the air, as if to get the okay to go. Make up your own mind.
Now Franco fouls one off the left side.
There's just too much hand holding in today's game. You've got to have some initiative. There's plays sometimes happen that you've got to make your own decisions. You can't have someone hold your hand and walk you to school. Wow.
Well, Flexen, the beneficiary of that mess on the Phillies' part. Chance to get through this inning unscathed. He bounces that one away from Darno, and that'll get the run in. And Galvis finally scores on the wild pitch. And the Met lead is cut to 4-2. Hoskins down to second.
Curveball in the dirt.
So after Flexen was on the edge of getting through what had been a bases loaded, nobody out jam, a 2-out wild pitch brings in a run, and now another runner in scoring position. 1-1 the count to Franco. Two and one.
You think you've seen everything in this game, Garrett?
It seems to me that we are obliged to describe things that have not often been described before. Grounded toward the hole. Big hop for Reyes on the backhand, and he throws out Franco to end the inning. Nice play, Jose. And the Phillies get just the one run on the wild pitch after their base running misadventures. 4-2 Mets after 5. New York. Michael Conforto leads off against Zach Eflin. Conforto got this whole day started with a 2-run homer in the first inning. Curtis Granderson added a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. Odubel Herrera providing the comic relief, and the Mets have a 4-2 lead in the 6th. 1-1 to Conforto. Wilmer Flores on deck, then Dominic Smith against Eflin, who, other than the 2 home runs, has pitched pretty well today. Hasn't walked a batter. Struck out 5. And Conforto confused by that last strike call by Doug Eddings.
He thought it was low or outside. It's the first time I've seen Michael kind of dispute a little. It wasn't even he did it properly, but just dispute a call.
Conforto's home run in the first inning was his 26th of the year. 2-2 coming, and that's inside, full count. Wilmer Flores waits. And Conforto launches one out to center, chasing Herrera back, edge of the track to get it. 1 out. Let's check in with the studio. Doug Williams has a game break brought to you by your Tri Honda dealers. Doug? All right, Doug, and Neil also made a nice play charging from third base, made a bare hand play to throw a runner out, so he's having a good first day in Milwaukee. Here's Flores, who's 0 for 2, and he fouls back a fastball.
Oh, nice catch. Right in front of us.
No glove.
Yep. Beautiful catch.
Wearing an Aaron Altair jersey.
He's got his hat on backwards.
It's a shame we've missed Altair. He was having a really good
year.
Probably the best of any Philly.
Yeah, I liked him, the left fielder.
Well, Hopefully Altair will be back by the time the Mets and Phillies next convene. Mets are going to finish their season here in Philadelphia. Last 3 games of the year. So there's more Turkey Hill ice cream to come.
Oh, Frank, he just like loads it up.
And Frank loves you. I mean, he gives you the extra serving of ice cream.
I don't need
every
it though.
time.
I have no resistance to ice cream.
Walmer hooks one down the line, and that goes foul. I saw you go back for seconds the other day.
First day, and then I was very bloated. I think it affected my open the next day.
I mean, the one last night, you know, we haven't really talked about that. Here's the 0-2. I don't know if that survives anywhere in archive fashion, but it was fascinating to me that as we came on the air last night, you were singing.
I was, and I wasn't paying attention to Greg Picker, our producer, counting down. And you know what it was? I usually work out in the morning, and I just started working out again because I got the okay with my knee. And I worked out at 1:30. I didn't get my nap in, so I was a little tired. And I didn't know we were on. And I was singing.
Now, we've done how many thousands of games together, and the Open is pretty much the same every time. They show the little animation shot with some of the old players, and you hear sometimes Casey Stengel's voice, sometimes Bob Murphy as Flores singles up the middle. And right after that, the broadcast begins, and we say where we are and who's playing, and I do my little spiel, and then it's your turn to talk. But
blew it
for some reason.
You
forgot.
But I wasn't through either. I got stuck on Walker.
You're saying it got better from there. Well, yeah.
It was the worst open I've ever done in my life.
It was a little bit of a run-on.
It was a smelly open. El Stinkowski.
Well, I thought today's effort was a major step forward.
It was. I'm always uncomfortable in the opens. Ronnie's very smooth and suave and sophisticated.
He puts on a good act. You know, everybody's a little on edge because you're in front of the camera, and you know when you're not in front of the camera and you find yourself at a loss for words or something, you can kind of collect yourself.
And I understand the import of the Open too. When I was a kid growing up, I couldn't wait for the Opens.
Really?
With Russ Hodges and Lon Simmons. But
see, to me, you know, the Open you have to do because it's the start of the broadcast,
right?
And you have to let people know that you're there. But they're not really tuning in to see what we're saying before the game starts. They're much more interested in the game itself. That's why the folks tune in. I mean, this isn't the.
Well, you know, I always, you know, everything's televised today. When I was a kid growing up, we only had 9 games to watch on television.
That's amazing.
From Dodger Stadium.
Out of 162 games, you only saw 9.
Of the Giants. And that they'd always televise the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, Cerveza Ravine, and we couldn't wait. But today, it's just every day you can watch every game.
Right.
So you looked forward to every inch and second of that broadcast. And, you know, Russ Hodges and Lon Simmons were very professional broadcasters.
Well, of course, you knew their voices because they did all the games on the radio the rest of the time.
Right, exactly.
Well, we were much more fortunate in New York. The Mets televised about 125 games a year.
Wow.
Growing up. So there was the rare game that was not on television.
My dad would have loved that.
Think about it now. Smith flies one foul. Think if you have the extra innings package, you can basically watch every major league game of the whole season, over 2,000 games.
Well, I do have it because I got to have it. And I can't say that I fully utilize it.
You don't watch all 2,700 or whatever it is? It's a good thing. That's drilled into right field, a base hit for Dominic Smith. Flores pulls in at second. So Smith has his second big league hit. That came on an 0-2 pitch. And the Mets have 2 men on in the 6th.
Another breaking ball, I believe. Yes, sir. It's that lazy breaking ball. Nice hitting by Dom with 2 strikes. Slight little leg kick.
And here comes Pete Mackanin, and that may be all for Zach Eflin. He's at 93 pitches through 5 1/3. They've got Hobie Milner, the left-hander, Jason Terrien, the right-hander, up. You got Travis d'Arnaud, a right-hand hitter, coming to the plate, and Eflin will exit. Mets up 4-2 and threatening for more. Jason Terrien will come out of the Phillies bullpen. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. We'll be right back. You can build a team to lead the league in one stat. What would it be? Well, Rob Pearsall agrees with us. ERA. Thanks, Rob. Always like when people agree with us. How about someone who doesn't agree with us? Least errors. Well, that certainly better defense would be a better thing.
Okay, well, that's 2 that aren't on the offensive ledger. I like that.
Jason Terrien's 3rd appearance in the series. Travis d'Arnaud swings over the slider, 0-1. Run differential, well, that's certainly better to outscore the opposition by as much as possible. There's a good one. Brian says fewest days on the disabled list. That may be the biggest key of them all. That's a good one, Brian.
Yeah, but how do you prevent that, Brian?
Well, that's the secret. In the dirt, stopped by Alfaro, and that keeps Flores from advancing.
Do you hire a new conditioning strength coordinator, Brian? What do you do?
I think it's a mystery. I think if anybody had the answer to that, they would immediately plug it in. Another slider from Terrien, and it's 1-2. Terrien pitched on Thursday night, gave up a 3-run homer to Michael Conforto. Then he pitched Friday night and retired all 4 batters to face him. Terrien, the native of Montreal, this is just his 6th major league appearance. Flores at second, Smith at first with 1 out. And that one in the dirt, stopped again by Alfaro. 2-2. Brandon Nimmo on deck. They're keeping the left-hander ready in the bullpen. So this could be a 1-batter affair for Terrien. After Zach Eflin went 5 1/3, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs so far, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 93 pitches for Eflin. His 2nd start back from the minors. And d'Arnaud down on the fastball. 2nd time in a row he struck out on the fastball, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. And now it would appear that Terrian is going to stay in and face Nimmo.
Good hard little cutter there. Pretty good pitch. And d'Arnaud with that long swing, not able to catch up.
So here's Nimmo starting for the second straight day. He's been doing such a great job coming off the bench and pinch hitting, but he has now struck out in each of his last 4 official at bats, and he fouls off the first pitch slider, 0-1. Rare chance for Brandon to get 4 at bats a couple of days in a row. Alfaro having to do a lot of digging since Terrian came in the game.
Still trying to figure out what was going on in the mind of Cabrera on that bases loaded going to third base. I just, for the life of me, don't understand. Obviously, he did not pick up and see what the runner in front of him was doing.
I think that one way or another, when he saw the ball bounce away from d'Arnaud, he either thought Galvis had already scored or forgot that Galvis was at third.
But as a runner, you always, a back runner, you got to look at the runners in front of you.
Well, of course.
Now, you mentioned baseball 102. That's baseball 100.5.
Pre-rec. Yeah. Well, let's just say that if every base runner did what they were supposed to, we wouldn't have entertaining plays like that.
Chris Flexen sure loved it.
Yes, he did.
Got him out of a big jam.
2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Nimmo, and he grounds one to the right side. Hoskins makes the play. Side retired. Terrian comes in and gets 2 big outs to keep this a 2-run game. 4-2 Mets going to the bottom of the 6th. Philadelphia as Jason Bradford comes in for the 2nd straight day.
He's done a very credible job since his call up.
Well, tomorrow night, the 4-game home-and-home series between the Mets and the Yankees begins in the Bronx. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here on SNY. And for more on the Yankees, let's check in with Steve.
Well, the Yankees still lead the AL wild card, but they've been playing a little bit, or they've been scuffling a little bit lately, I should say, just winning 5 of their last 13 games. A couple major issues for the Yankees right now. 1, their rotation, and 2, Aaron Judge. We'll start with him. He was obviously the story of the first half in Major League Baseball, but off to a really poor post All-Star break, hitting just 161 right now. Just 6 extra base hits since the All-Star break, and his OPS is middling in the 660s since the All-Star break. Has now struck out in a record 29 straight games for the Yankees, a franchise record for them. And then for the rotation, already out for the season is Michael Pineda. Now Masahiro Tanaka's on the DL, CC Sabathia's on the DL, and their most consistent starter all year, Luis Severino. He got lit up by the Red Sox yesterday, so we'll see a couple of new guys for the Yankees in this upcoming 4-game set, but that rotation really an issue right now for the Bombers.
Well, the Yankees certainly fortified themselves at the trading deadline. They picked up Sonny Gray and Jaime Garcia, and that certainly helps mitigate some of those rotation issues. Also, picking up Todd Frazier helps with the fact that they've had injuries to some of their everyday players as well. I mean, Starlin Castro is having a terrific year. He's out and has been for the last few weeks as Granderson catches the fly ball from Alfaro. But a couple of under-the-radar guys have really helped. Didi Gregorius has had a fantastic season for the Yankees, hitting over 300, 18 home runs. And Aaron Hicks has done a fantastic job filling in the outfield as well with all the injuries they've had out there.
Well, Hicks made a very nice throw. That was the first game of the series. I threw the runner out at third base.
And he's hitting 280. He's got 11 home runs in just 63 games. Here's Ty Kelly, the former Met, pinch hitting against Bradford, and takes a strike. So it's been an interesting year for the Yankees, a year when they were not really supposed to contend. Surprised everybody in the first half, and Judge's incredible first half had so much to do with that. It's funny because going into the season, the young player who was so highly touted was Gary Sanchez, and while he's done okay offensively, Girardi benched him last week because he felt as though he was not defending as well behind the plate as he should have. And Kelly fouls it away, and Bradford ahead 1-2. You have to love the way Bradford attacks the strike zone. There are the AL home run leaders entering the day. Mike Moustakas is chasing down a Kansas City record of 36 home runs in a season. Steve Balboni has that, but Judge still has the lead by 1. One-two coming to Kelly, and he hits it right at the shortstop Reyes. And so Jason Bradford comes in and in quick order has a 1-2-3 inning, just 7 pitches, and Bradford sets down the Phils to keep the Mets up 4-2. by Michael Conforto and Curtis Granderson. 5 strong innings from Chris Flexen. And the Mets with a 4-2 lead as we go to the 7th. And Edubray Ramos comes on to pitch for the Phils.
Second appearance in the series for Ramos. Josh, another, how many relievers with ERAs over 5 on this staff? Goodness.
Jose Reyes leads off, double down the left field line his last time up. 1 for 2 on the day, and takes the fastball high. Juan Lagares has come out on deck to pinch hit, and then Curtis Granderson. And if anybody gets on in the inning, then Asdrubal Cabrera. And I only mention that because of the history between Cabrera and the guy on the mound, Edubray Ramos.
I remember.
Walk-off home run last year, pitch over Asdrubal's head this year.
Got him a bobblehead of that scene.
Yes. And everybody remembered the home run. Nobody remembered who threw the pitch except for the guy who threw it, who did not take kindly to what he felt was the excessive celebration
and
that accompanied the home run.
Must have seethed over the winter.
Yeah, that's a lot of months of seething. But even his teammates didn't realize that was going on, all that seething
and stewing.
Slapped past the mound. Tough play for Franco. Can't make the bare hand pickup, and Reyes has an infield hit. Not sure he could have thrown him out anyway, but a good effort by Franco.
There's his. Oh, nope. Did not even have the grip. That's just a little slap right there. That's like an Ichiro base hit, isn't it? He was a patent kind of slap that ball and beat it out.
So Reyes has his second hit of the day, and now Lagares, his first plate appearance, is coming back from the fractured thumb that kept him on the DL for almost 2 months, and he takes a slider for a strike. Juan had just begun to get into a good offensive groove before he got hurt. Up to 269 for the year. 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Came in as a defensive replacement the other night. And he fouls back the fastball, and it's 0-2.
And the birthday boy. Isn't his birthday today, you said?
No, it's Robles.
Robles says that's right.
Yeah. And Lagares out on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Okay.
So 1 out and 1 on. Let's check in with the studio. Doug Williams has another game break brought to you by the New York State Department of Health. Well, it certainly would be a cruel blow if there were anything wrong with Arenado. The year he's having. Granderson having a big day, double and a 2-run homer. He scored 2 runs. He's driven in 2. Reyes at first and 1 out. Granderson's home run was his 17th of the year. He's now driven in 46. Shortstop hole wide open. Reyes runs, and it gets by Alfaro. Reyes diving into second, and so he'll have to stay put there. Stolen base number 14 for Reyes, and Alfaro just flat out didn't catch it.
He missed it completely. He took his eye. He had to take his eye off of the ball. Saw Reyes running and rushed it.
So Jose at second with 1 out. 0-2 count to Granderson. And Curtis hits one through the open hole for a base hit. Reyes around third. He'll be waved home. The throw to the plate by Kim is not in time. Curtis Granderson finds the open space, drives in his third run of the day with his third hit, and it's 5-2 New York.
Well, if you're going to leave the left side of the infield open like this, then why are you throwing someone away? It's beyond me. I mean, there was just nobody on the left side of the infield. It's just right there. An invitation for Curtis. Well done.
So a big day for Granderson. Single, double, homer, 3 RBIs. The Reyes stolen base produces a run, and now the latest rematch between Edubray Ramos and Asdrubal Cabrera. And we'll see whether Ramos is still seething. Well, this was back on April 10th with memories of the walk-off home run and the celebration. Cabrera didn't remember, apparently. Ramos did. Pete McCann got thrown out of the game. And let's just say that Ramos's teammates were not all that happy with him.
They didn't support him?
No.
Different game.
Well, if you remember the game that Cabrera hit that walk-off home run, the Mets had come from behind several times. They had tied it in the bottom of the 9th. They were behind in the 11th, and Cabrera hit a 3-run homer to win it. So it was, and the Mets were in the middle of the race for the wild card. This was late September. And it was a huge win for them,
yes,
the kind of win that you expect to celebrate a little extra.
Well, it's an emotional win.
Right. And of course, you know, Ramos was on the other side, just a young pitcher trying to make his way for a team that was going nowhere, and I'm sure it didn't strike him as something that he wanted to witness, no matter what the circumstances. This is the home run. Complete with bat flip, two-handed bat flip.
And that was a game winner and a big win.
So Cabrera, after swinging on 3-0 and fouling it off, takes a 3-1 breaking ball for a strike. And it's a full count. Granderson at first with 1 out, 3-2 to Cabrera. Curtis not running, and Cabrera with a check swing tapper. Ramos's play is at first. Low throw, and Hoskins can't pick it out, and everybody's safe. What an awful throw by Ramos. On the check swing comebacker by Cabrera. As Asdrubal gets him again.
Just spiked it.
So an error on the pitcher, allowing Cabrera to reach. Granderson's now at second. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, is going to come out and try and settle down Ramos, for whom the mere sight of Asdrubal Cabrera can be discombobulating.
I'd be more afraid of Conforto right now.
Well, I think that's McClure's message here. Is get Asdrubal out of your brain. The guy at the plate can hurt you. Mets have scored a run here in the 7th, and now a chance to blow the doors off with Conforto, who's already got a 2-run homer today. Michael's last 5 hits have all been home runs, including 3 in this series. Granderson at second, Cabrera at first, and Conforto takes a slider down for ball 1.
Larry Boa.
That's the Phillies bench coach after that spiked throw by Ramos. One to Conforto. Michael takes a high strike, and it's 1-2. Wilmer Flores waiting on deck. It's now with 5 runs and 9 hits. Conforto got it started with a 2-run homer in the first off Zach Eflin, who gave up a pair of 2-run homers today. And Conforto flies one out to shallow left. In comes Kim, and he makes the grab. 2 out. So 2 out and 2 on. Geico Sports Night comes up tonight at 10:30. Preview of the Subway Series starting tomorrow night, and all the football news. Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30 only on SNY. So now 2 out and 2 on. Here's Flores, who had a base hit to center field his last time up. 1 for 3 on the day. Let's try to snap a string of Sunday futility.
Well, a team that looks like it's an exercise in futility is the Phillies. They made some whoppers.
Lined into center field. Another base hit for Flores. Granderson turns third. He'll score without a throw. Wilmer Flores drives in a run, and it's 6-2 New York. So Wilmer's second hit of the day produces his 38th run batted in, and the Mets take advantage of the Ramos error to play an extra run.
High fastball. Good hitting by Wilmer, going right up the middle.
So 2 runs home in the inning on 3 hits and an error. And now Dominic Smith, who had a base hit to right center his last time up. 1 for 3 on the day. 2 for 9 to start his major league career. And bats here with 2 men on. Cabrera now at second. Flores at first. I mentioned the recent Sunday results. The Mets have lost their last 6 Sunday games, which is bad enough, but they were outscored in those 6 Sunday losses 46-8. It's a little different today. It all started, in fact, with a loss to the Phillies on July 2nd at Citi Field, a 7-1 loss, when the Mets had a chance to sweep that series and did not. In fact, the Mets haven't swept a series at home all year. Speed pitch from Ramos, and it's 1-2.
Ramos is just one of those pitchers that you can go up there and get 3 pitches that are nasty from him, and then you can get next time off of him and give you 3 fat ones.
One-two coming, and that's in the dirt. Alfaro knocks it down. 2-2. Two out, 2 on, 2-2 to number 22, Dominic Smith.
Well, slow worker.
Pitch clock. Outside, 3-2. Travis d'Arnaud would be next. Cabrera at second. Flores at first will get set to run. 3-2 coming. And Smith pops one up into left field. And Kim is there. That retires the side. But the Mets score a couple. Add to their lead. 7th inning stretch time, 6-2 New York. a little voyage back in time in the Mets-Phillies rivalry. Even Ronnie playing peacemaker there in that last little dust.
Was that Doc getting all upset there? I forget that. What year was that?
I don't remember. That was mid '80s sometime. '89 though was the Jeffries McDowell one. That was the last
I remember
home.
that.
Was your last home game at Shea Stadium?
Yes. Oh, Bobby Ojeda in front of Doctor. Doctor got hot.
Where's Darling's shirt? Got the jacket and no shirt. What's with that?
What's with the hairdo?
Gonna have to ask him about that. What did he come running out of the shower to join the festivities? Jerry Blevins will pitch the bottom of the 7th for New York.
Well, Jerry has done a terrific job this year again. He's been a stalwart in that bullpen that has been pretty leaky.
Had a rough night Friday night, gave up a tying home run to Cesar Hernandez, and then a couple of soft hits after that. And Hansel Robles had to come in and bail him out before Ahmed Rosario hit the go-ahead home run in the 9th, and the Mets wound up winning that game. Cesar Hernandez, who took Blevins deep in that game, leads off against him here in the home 7th, and he takes a strike. Mets now with a 6-2 lead. Hernandez 1 for 3 today. Singleton scored in the first, struck out twice after that. Chris Flexen in line for his 2nd straight win. Went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Flexen lowered his ERA from 8.49 to 7.02. Doesn't sound like much, but it's progress. Freddie Galvis on deck, then Odubel Herrera. And that's low and inside, 2-1. Jason Bradford, easy 6th inning, 1-2-3 on 7 pitches. He continues to impress. And now Blevins working in the 7th. I think Kevin McGowan's flight is just landing. McGowan is the young reliever that the Mets called up today to take Neil Walker's spot on the roster. If we get to extra innings, maybe
they flew him all the way here so they can bus home.
Well, you know, he might be needed.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to bus home on the turnpike.
That's hit hard, and Hernandez has a base hit leading off in the 7th. Chased down by Nimmo, but Hernandez will easily get to second base with a leadoff double. So Hernandez a home run against Blevins the other night, and now a 2-base hit. So the Phillies have their 7th hit of the day. And now Freddie Galvis doing a base hit his last time up. A strange 5th inning for the Phillies. Galvis lined one off Flores' glove for a base hit. Herrera walked, and then Hoskins picked up his first big league hit. Phillies had the table set, bases loaded, nobody out, and then the frivolity began. Galvis failed to tag up on a fly ball to deep center. Throw came into the plate. Herrera, the runner at second, broke for third with Galvis still standing there, and Herrera was tagged out. Galvis wound up scoring on a wild pitch, but that's all the Phillies got in that inning against Flexen. Galvis lays off the curveball. 2-0. Herrera waits on deck. Blevins behind his 2nd straight hitter. He fell behind 3-1 on Hernandez before he doubled. Now he's 2-0 on Galvis. And fires the fastball knee high for a strike. 2-1. Gorgeous afternoon in Philadelphia. 85 degrees, just perfect. Galvis smacks one down the right field line. That'll go foul. 2-2. Two coming. And Galvis grounds one at Reyes. Runner will have to hold as Reyes throws out Galvis for the first out. Hernandez stays at second. Today's quote of the game presented by Investors Bank. Banking in your best interest. It comes from the great Mike Schmidt. Anytime you think you have the game conquered, the game will turn around and punch you right in the nose.
Well, we've all heard that one in various forms. I always heard of the game would come back and bite you, not punch you in the nose, but it's the same.
Which would you prefer?
Bite.
Depends who's doing the biting.
Well,
whether they're rabid. Here's Herrera, who's been on base 3 times. Single and 2 walks, but a base running misadventure in the 5th. Good curveball there by Blevins. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Katz Institute for Women's Health. The total contribution to date, $130,000 so far this season. Visit northwell.edu/cats to learn more. One to Herrera.
I don't know how the fanatic does it. I mean, must have a very high metabolism. He's doing all he can do to get this crowd into it.
And can you imagine how he's sweating inside that suit on a warm afternoon?
Yes. I mean, he earns his dough.
He's very popular.
We all love him.
I mean, he's popular no matter whether the Phillies are winning or losing. Grounded down to first. Smith plays the long hop, takes it himself, and just ahead of Herrera for the second out as Hernandez goes to third.
Well, always take it yourself if you can. Keep your pitcher out of it.
So 2 out now. Rhys Hoskins finally picked up his first big league hit his last time up, lining one in the right field after going 0 for his first 12. Here's the Jeep pitch cast.
It'll be up and away. Outer half up.
And just got it over the glove of a leaping Dom Smith. It's for his first big league safety. Hernandez at third with 2 out. Curveball outside, ball 1. So we mentioned Tampa Bay scored today. That was the good news for the Rays. In fact, they scored 3 runs. Bad news?
They lost.
The Indians beat them again. Corey Kluber got his 11th win. 9 more strikeouts. He's 11-3, has 192 strikeouts, which only puts him 3rd in the American League. Chris Sale having a huge strikeout year. 229 going into his start tonight against the Yankees. Chris Archer has 197 strikeouts. So the Indians for the moment have a 5-game lead in the American League Central. They're starting to pull away. Minnesota second place. They're leading their game in Detroit 6-4 in the 8th. And now Blevins falls behind on Hoskins. 3-0. Nick Williams would be next. Giants beat the Nationals today 4-2. Chris Stratton got his first win for the Giants. And that's outside, ball 4. Threw him a 3-0 curveball. So he wanted no part of Hoskins. That was weird.
Very.
And got a 4-run lead. So now it's Williams. Give Blevins a left-hand hitter to face. Marlins beat the Rockies today, and the big question for Colorado is how badly is Nolan Arenado hurt after coming out of that game? Hit on the hand by a pitch. Hernandez at third, Hoskins at first with 2 out. Williams has hit 2 fly balls to center field. The second one resulted in a double play. He's also walked, so he's 0 for 2. And the curveball outside, ball 1. And Blevins struggling with his curve. There's today's starters, brought to you by People's United Bank. Chris Flexen, 5 good innings. He in line for his 2nd straight win. Zach Eflin gave up 4 runs. And the fastball fouled off, 1-1. That's on the corner, and Blevins gets ahead 1-2.
7 men left on base thus far for the Phillies. They've had some opportunities, more than their share. It'll be 9 if they don't get any of these in.
7 hits, 5 walks, but only 2 runs. And Williams strikes out on the curveball. Darno has to toss it to first, and that ends the inning. So Blevins works around trouble in the 7th. 6-2 New York going to the 8th. Philadelphia. William Penn atop the City Hall in Philadelphia. Here's your Infinity Mets box score. Curtis Granderson with a big day, single, double, home run, 3 RBIs. Michael Conforto, his 3rd home run of this series, his 26th of the year. Changes for the Phillies. Tommy Joseph comes in to play first base. He'll bat 9th. Rhys Hoskins moves from first base to left field. Seung-Hoo Kim moves from left field to right field. And the new pitcher for the Phillies will be left-hander Adam Morgan.
Well, yet there's another guy with the 5s. Boy, I feel like I'm repeating myself. This is his 2nd appearance in this 4-game set.
Travis d'Arnaud leads off in the 8th and takes outside, ball 1. Morgan making his 2nd appearance in the series. Worked an inning and a 3rd on Friday night. Allowed no runs and 1 hit. Darno was 1 for 3 today, singled his first time up and then struck out twice. Brandon Nimmo on deck, then Jose Reyes for the Mets in the 8th. And Morgan sails the changeup outside. It's 3-0. Darno takes a strike, 3-1. Adam Morgan, former starter, now working out of the Phillies bullpen. Chopped out to Galvis, and his toss gets Darno 1 away. So 1 out now. Nimmo, who's had a rough day at the plate, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out, getting a rare opportunity for a second straight start. Tomorrow night in the Bronx, Rafael Montero will get the start for the Mets. Still haven't seen an announcement as to who's going to pitch for the Yankees.
But we have a real nice matchup on that Tuesday night game.
It's Jacob deGrom against Sonny Gray. Well, it was 3 years ago that deGrom and Montero both made their debuts in the Subway Series, and now they get to renew that feeling in the next 2 nights. One and one to Nimmo. Nimmo fouls it off, 1-2. When the series shifts to Citi Field, the Mets will see Jaime Garcia in the Wednesday night game. Guy they have faced before, the Cardinals and the Braves.
They've kind of roughed him up this year.
And he's had a rough go of it since joining the Yankees as well. Golf foul by Nimmo. Mets will have Lugo against Garcia Wednesday night, and then Steven Matz against Luis Severino on Thursday night. Severino has been by far the Yankees' best starter this year, but got roughed up yesterday by the Red Sox. I mean, these two rotations could not look more different than they were supposed to look. There's the slider by Morgan to strike out Nimmo. 3rd time Brandon's been struck out today. And there are 2 out in the inning. No Pineda, no Tanaka, no Sabathia, no Syndergaard, no Harvey, no Wheeler.
Keep going.
It's enough. Well, it really speaks to the fragility of big league pitching. And it just reminds every team that you need a plan B, C, and D. Reyes batting right-handed for the first time today, has 2 hits, doubled and scored in the 5th, had an infield hit, stole a base, and scored in the 7th. I would love to go back and look at this. I don't have it in front of me. But doesn't it seem as though Reyes has had better offensive days when he plays shortstop?
I would like to see the numbers, and I think that they would back it up. Yeah, absolutely, Gary.
I think there's just such a comfort level there for him. But aren't going to be too many of those opportunities ahead of him.
And he's played a real nice second base. He's made some nice plays at second. He
Much more comfortable at second than at third.
Third, he was obviously uncomfortable.
Fly ball into shallow right, and Kim coming on late, but he gets there to retire the side. So Morgan sets the Mets down 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. 6-2 New York at Citizens Bank Park. Arenado X-rays negative, a contusion on his left hand. Rockies fell in Miami 5-3. Stanton at his 42nd. Blue Jays beat the Pirates again 7-1. Good day for Josh Donaldson, and R.A. Dickey and the Braves lead the Cardinals, who've won 8 straight games. Paul Sewald on to pitch the bottom of the 8th for New York. Maikel Franco first man to face him, and takes a slider down for ball 1. Franco's 0 for 3 today. Sewald continues to pitch well, when an inning of third Friday night allowed no runs and 1 hit.
Well, he's like Bradford, and they're both similar. They do pound the strike zone. They're not afraid to go after hitters. Keeps your fielders on their toes. And trust me, in today's game, I highly recommend it.
If you work quick and throw strikes, you're such an aberration right now in this game. Got to make everybody happy. And Sewald ready to work, but Franco wasn't ready. That's how used they are to these relief pitchers taking forever to throw a pitch. 2-2 to Franco. And look at that. He gets the ball back, and he gets his sign, and he's ready to go. Off Sewald. He tries to run it down. Smith with the backhand flip, and they got him. Nicely done. Good communication between Sewald and Smith, and now we'll see if Paul is okay. After getting struck by that hard bouncer, limping slightly, and Ray Ramirez is going to come out and see.
Nice recovery here. A change. Quick reaction by Sewald. Nice backhand flip from Smith. This is not something you practice. That's just on the fly right there. Very nice.
1-3-1 put out. Looked like it came off the outside of his knee. And they'll want him to throw a warm-up pitch or two to make sure. And he was convincing enough.
Nice play. There's the slide to first base, and just got the side of the bag there.
It was not quite the degree of difficulty of that play a couple of years ago with Carlos Torres and Daniel Murphy. Remember that one? Off Torres's foot to Murphy, goes sprawling in the dirt, and somehow got it to Torres.
Oh yes, that was a nice play by young Daniel
for another 1-3-1 put out. This was good, but that one was special. Here's Kim fouling one away, and it's 0-2. Hyun-Soo Kim is 0 for 3 today. Hit one to the wall in left field that Nimmo caught back in the 4th. Started the game in left field, now playing right. Kim had a really good year with Baltimore last year. 95 games, hit .306, .382 on base percentage, but just unable to duplicate that this year. And the Orioles traded him in the deal that brought Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson's pitching today for Baltimore and Oakland. They're up 2-0 in the second. He's pitched very well since he got there. Late swing foul. Orioles are still around in that American League wild card race, just a game and a half back. The other deal Baltimore made at the deadline was for Tim Beckham from Tampa Bay. You see what Beckham's done? Since he joined Baltimore, he's 26 for 49. It's a .531 batting average. Talk about good first impression. 2-2 now to Kim.
Beckham's the infielder, right?
Yep.
It's funny how that works, doesn't it? It just, you got someone that's marginal, and all of a sudden they get into a new environment and it clicks. There's no guarantee the next year.
Kim socks one to deep left center. Conforto back and on the warning track to make the grab. 2 out. Well, the thing about a guy like Beckham is he's got pedigree, right? He was the first overall pick in the draft, and he's never really performed at that kind of level, but you know the talent's there. And certainly it's all come out in the last 2 weeks since changing uniform. So 2 out. Here's Jorge Alfaro, who was 2 for 3 today. Tommy Joseph is batting 9th in the order. He would be next. And first pitch swinging, fly ball out to right, Granderson in, and Paul Sewald has himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. On to the 9th we go in Philly with the Mets up 6-2. All right, guys, we go to the 9th inning. Mets up 6-2, looking to take 3 out of 4 in this series. Ahmed Rosario will pinch hit, leading off in the 9th. His first big league pinch hitting assignment, and he takes a slider for a strike from Adam Morgan. Rosario 4 for 10 in this series. Started 11 straight games before getting the day off today. Curtis Granderson on deck, and then as Drupal Cabrera. Granderson has a chance for a cycle today, Keith. All it would take would be a triple. He's got 3 of those this year.
He's got the speed to do it, too.
Just not the right ballpark.
Well, you got to hit it in the right spot.
Or have a guy fall down. Maybe 2 guys fall down, depending on who you are. Curtis can motor still. Fouled away 1-2. Morgan worked a 1-2-3 8th inning, staying on for the 9th. Ahead on Rosario 1-2. And he slashes 1 foul. Nine hits and 38 at bats to start his major league career. A double, 2 triples, and his first big league home run here on Friday night. He gets jammed and fouls it off. Again, the 1-2, and it's outside, and Ahmed works the count to 2-2. Seeing Rosario drive the ball to right center a couple of times. Did that for his home run. Did it for his double yesterday as well. He lines that one into center field for a base hit. So a good pinch hit at bat for Rosario, and he's aboard to start the top of the ninth.
Gets a high breaking ball here. Just a hanger. Stays nice and level. A very wiry body.
So Rosario 5 for 11 in this series. And now Granderson doubled in the first, homered in the fifth, singled in the seventh. So he's a triple away from the cycle. How likely? Well, Curtis has 92 career triples. None against the Phillies. In 263 career at-bats against the Phillies. This is not a ballpark that yields a lot of three-base hits. Skies that one along the left field line. Long run in for Hoskins, but he won't get there. It's a foul ball. And it's 0-2 to Granderson. Every time we put up that graphic of the last Mets cycle, Scott Hairston in Colorado. Hairston had a cycle. Mets lost by 9 runs that day. That's hard to do. And Granderson strikes out on the slider. So he'll go cycle less today and settle for 3 hits. Second strikeout for Morgan. 1 out and 1 on, and Cabrera coming up.
Who got the cycle in Montreal? That the final one was the triple, and he just kept running.
Eric Valent.
Yes.
Who we often see here in Philadelphia. Yeah, Eric, it was a lopsided game, so he could do this.
Right.
But yeah, it was. He hit it to right, and he just didn't stop. I think Vladimir Guerrero was playing right field too. And the throw came in, but it was wide, and he made it and put himself in the Mets record book.
Was he a UCLA guy?
I think he was.
Valent?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think he was originally a Phillies draft pick. Cabrera's 0 for 4 today. Reached his last time up when the pitcher Ramos spiked a throw into the ground. That helped the Mets to an unearned run in the 7th. Mets have led this game from the jump. 2-run homer by Conforto in the first. Chris Flexen threw 5 good innings, allowed just 2 runs. And the Mets have added on from there. 1-2 now to Cabrera. Checking on Rosario. One-two coming. And Cabrera hits one foul deep down the left side. Up into the second deck. Mets have A.J. Ramos up in the bullpen. Right now he's just standing around and watching. 4-run lead. Non-save situation. If the Mets get more, they might decide not to use him at all. Well, maybe why he's just standing around. Paul Sewald worked a 1-2-3 8th, but he was pinch hit for. Cabrera pokes one foul. As Dribble had a hit as a right-hand batter last night, he's now hitting .337 from this side of the plate, more than 100 points higher than he's hitting left-handed, which is not exactly in line with his career numbers, but he's just been hot as blazes as a right-hand batter over the last couple of months.
Been pulling the ball a lot too, getting a lot of base hits to left from the right side of the plate.
Takes this one down the right field line, slicing foul. Adam Morgan, the fourth Philadelphia pitcher of the day. Zach Eflin went 5 1/3, allowed 4 runs, 7 hits. Jason Terrien retired his 2 batters. Edebray Ramos gave up 2 runs, 1 earned on 3 hits in an inning. And Morgan has now worked an inning and a third. This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat to Cabrera. And fouls off another one. Not home, no problem. Watch every SNY Mets game wherever you are on any device all season long with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just download the NBC Sports app or visit SNY.TV, your home for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Again, the 1-2. And it's hit off the glove of the pitcher. Karams to Galvis to flip behind the back. Not quite on target. That would have been a highlight for the ages had he pulled that off. And he gets an appreciative hand from the Phillies crowd just for the effort. It'll be an infield hit for Cabrera, but what a try by Galvis.
I got to see if he can make it the right way, the normal way. I think he had a chance. Let's take a look here. Oh, he's so off balance.
Yeah, what could he have possibly done?
Yep.
Well, that was a try for something that would live forever. I mean, all in one motion to barehanded and go behind the back. After having had to change direction when it deflected off the pitcher. Well, Cabrera will take the hit, and now Conforto will come up with 2 men on. Michael had the 2-run homer back in the first. He's 1 for 4 today. And he takes a rip, 0-1. 12 hits now for the Mets this afternoon. The second against Morgan. And Conforto tops one. That came off his foot, a foul ball. Nice fielding play by Cabrera. Not often you see a base runner between first and second field a ground ball. He can do it all.
Well, it's the big difference right here for Conforto. A 1 for 5 or a 2 for 5, and there's ducks on the pond.
2 RBIs today, 64 for the year. A lot of that coming out of the leadoff spot. Now getting to hit down in the order. More chances. And that slider just off the plate, 1-2.
Michael's average, because he's getting his hits and he's getting his home runs, but his average is down to 286.
Well, it's been pretty much home run or bust the last week. Last 5 hits have all been home runs. And he goes down swinging for the second out. Third strikeout for Morgan. Well, he made it. I told you his flight was just landing. That's Kevin McGowan, the newest Met, saying hi to some of the folks that he saw in spring training. We got a chance to see him pitch a couple of times during the spring. I just flew in. Here I am. They gave me a number and a uniform and everything.
I won't even have to shower.
I'm telling you, if we go to extra innings, the Mets have their pitcher. He is here. Welcome, Kevin McGowan. New Hampshire native, you know. Not too many of those in the big leagues. Franklin Pierce College. So now Wilmer, who's 2 for 4 today, 2 singles. He's driven in a run. Batting with 2 out and 2 on in the top of the 9th. And Flores fouls one off his leg. So have you figured out how you're getting to Yankee Stadium the next 2 nights? Subway, car service, bicycle, pedicab?
Public transportation.
Bus?
Not saying.
Okay. You afraid they'll be lying in wait for you?
No. I'm counting on Ronnie to have a car service for us to take us home after the game, as he always does. I want to be in the city.
I would say that, all things being equal, if you can take the 4 train or the D train, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Because the parking around there is just crazy.
I will be taking the train. I promise you.
Two and 1 to Flores.
I'll have my Bobby Valentine disguise on.
Really? You got the mustache and the glasses? But you always have a mustache and glasses.
I know it.
I think you'd have to go in a different direction. Maybe add a beard. A little Santa Claus beard.
Oh.
Little Burl Ives.
We'll have to put some pounds on then. Put a pillow on my tummy.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. 3 and 1 to Flores. Dominic Smith would be next. And Wilmer chasing. 3 and 2. Not a good swing on 3 and 1. What time do you say that train was tonight?
Oh, if you can forget it. It's like watching paint. I'm waiting for the paint to dry.
Runners get set to go. Rosario and Cabrera, 3 and 2, 2 out. And Wilmer fouls one back. I mean, it wasn't unreasonable to think with the 1:30 game that you might make a, was it 5:30 train?
39.
5:39. I mean, that was a reasonable thought when we arrived today.
The next one's no. I've already texted my daughter.
You sure you make the next one?
I'm going right to her apartment, and I'm going to drop my bags, and then we're going to go to a restaurant and have a nice dinner. And I'm going to listen to her and all of her problems. I got something to look forward to.
Wilmer grounds one to short, and Galvis will go to first with it. Low throw, but handled by Joseph, and that retires the side. Well, we're heading to the bottom of the 9th. That shoulder awaits. need to try and finish this game out. Meanwhile, Dustin McGowan has made his way to the bullpen, where he gets to say his hellos to Eric Goodell. To bullpen coach Ricky Bonas. Also Robles, who's celebrating his birthday today, gets a birthday wish from McGowan. Hugs all around. Changes on the defense. Jose Reyes moves from shortstop to second. Ahmed Rosario stays in the game at short, as Dribble Cabrera moves from second base to third base. Flores out, Ramos in, and his first pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Tommy Joseph, who's up for the first time in the game. Came on in a double switch in the 8th inning. Joseph started the first 3 games of the series, went 3 for 10. Cesar Hernandez on deck, and then Freddie Galvis in the last of the 9th. And Joseph takes a breaking ball outside, 1-1. So far, what we've seen of A.J. Ramos, he has been spectacular in save situations and a little muddled in the non-save chances. So we'll see how it goes today with a non-save opportunity. 2-1 now to Joseph. Seems to be true of a lot of closers.
Yes. Bruce Sutter was that way. They have to be in that high leverage situation. That's where they thrive.
And Ramos overpowers Joseph. 2-2. Ramos got the save on Friday night, his second with the Mets. Worked a 1-2-3 9th inning with a 1-run lead. Of course, the Phillies have seen plenty of him pitching in the same division. Joseph 0 for 4 against Ramos. Two coming, and the slider misses down, and a full count to Joseph. Ramos trying to finish it off for Chris Flexen, who went the first 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits. Jason Bradford, Jerry Blevins, and Paul Sewald each contributed a scoreless inning today. And that's in there for a call strike 3. Joseph didn't think so. And has a word for Doug Eddings as he strolls away. And another word. And a not so nice word.
He's got a gripe.
Yep. Doug might be catching that same train you are.
They got to go to the West Coast.
Yeah, they're going to San Diego. So 1 out now. Cesar Hernandez, who's 2 for 4 today, a single and a double. And he goes after the first pitch changeup, 0-1. Hernandez 4 for 9 in his career against Ramos. AJ tries the slider and misses, 1-1. Brarian on the grass at third against Hernandez, who leads the National League in bunt hits and in infield hits. And that crowds him 2-1. Good change up on Ramos, and it's 2-2. Hernandez hits one to short. Rosario has the hop. 2 out. So the Phillies down to their final out of the afternoon. And Freddie Galvis coming up. Galvis is 1 for 3 and a walk.
Well, looks like it's 3 out of 4 from these, can't say hard Phillies.
That's trying to finish off yet another series victory against a Philadelphia team they've dominated the last few years. Galvis takes ball 1. Mets have won 16 of their last 19 series against the Phillies, and they're 1 out away from another. Change up for a strike, 1-1. And Galvis slashes one foul. And now the Phillies are down to their final strike. One, 2. Foul back. AJ with all that movement before every pitch, the bow, the bounce. And now the 1-2. Struck him out, and the ball game is over. AJ Ramos with a 1-2-3 ninth to put on the finishing touches. 4 scoreless innings for the Mets bullpen. Big day for Curtis Granderson. Another home run for Michael Conforto, and the Mets take 3 of 4 in Philadelphia as they win today 6-2.
Well, they've done something they haven't done in a while, and that's win in a day game and win on a Sunday. And here's the final pitch from Ramos. There's that ball that I think that Galvis had one step on the bus, and there you go, some Met fans that are happy. 3 out of 4 here, as Gary said, the home run from Granderson and Conforto. A big day from Grandy, 3 hits.
Chris Flexen wins his 2nd consecutive start, strikes out a career high 5. As the Mets take 3 of 4, the game summary presented by Jeep. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $132,500. Every Mets win this year means another opportunity to win amazing prizes from Delta Airlines. Go to sny.tv/Delta Dugout to sign up now. Final score this afternoon. On a beautiful day in Philadelphia, all is sunny for the Mets. They win 6-2. More coming up in just a moment.